Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Geek. It's episode 89. My name is Ren Geekness, and as you can see, in case you're watching us live or watching us on repeat on YouTube, my co-host Zach Pope is not here at the moment. Like we told you last week, or I think 2 weeks ago at this point, sometimes because of time zone difference, I have to start the show an hour earlier just to make it to working time, and Zach cannot be here until the 1 hour mark. Now, that is not a problem. He will still be here. He will still answer a lot, or at least as many of your questions as I can. Remember to go to the community tab and leave your questions on the post with a thumbnail for this video asking for your questions. And that leads me into discussing, in case you're new to This Week in Geek, thank you so much for finding us. However you're finding us, I mentioned YouTube, but we are also on Spotify and Apple within the Into the Geek First playlist. So our show, how it works is we're going to start with our weekly ranking. That's when myself, when Zach's here, Zach, and then you guys in the live chat go through everything we watched this past week and rank it from the worst to the best. After that, we go into the main topic. That's the topic on the thumbnail, the one you see on the community tab. And today we'll be discussing all the Fantastic Four news we have gotten, I think at this point, for the past 2 weeks, because there have been big news and there have been bigger news. After that, of course, we go to my favorite part of the show, the final segment of the show, where we answer your questions. Again, those are the questions left on the community tab with a post with a thumbnail on this video. Obviously, we cannot guarantee we can get to all your questions, but please ask as many questions as possible. If you want to guarantee your question is answered, please consider clicking the tip link in the description or using the super chat feature, because that way you not only ask great questions, you support the channel while you're at it. All right, so with that out of the way, everyone, with all the housekeeping done, let's get started on our weekly ranking. And my weekly ranking this week has a ton of apes on it. I will let you know I've watched a total of 5 things this week. One of them is not Planet of the Apes related. So, and I'm still somewhat deciding where I rank the bottom of the list, but these are all very, very good movies. Right now, I'm going to have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at the bottom. Again, that's not to say it's a bad movie. Full review is now on the channel. You can go watch it. This is a great, great, great movie. But it is definitely the movie within this franchise that you feel the length. The length shows. Not that the movie drags, not that it's too long, but you see the movie going from beat to beat, from first act into second. You can just see the structure of the film as you're watching it. On top of that, I'm going to have Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And this rewatch really solidified how much I really adored this film. And so did my rewatches of the sequels. Next up, we have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Most people's favorite movie in the trilogy, and with good reason. This movie is fantastic. It's Shakespearean, it's tragic, it's big, it's bold, just like X-Men 97, which comes in at my number 2 this week. And yet again, this new episode might just be the best episode of the series yet. I've been counting down the days to the finale, and that finale cannot get here fast enough. This show is just incredible, and I cannot believe they stopped the episode at that moment. The moment where they stopped the episode, I cannot believe they had the guts to do that. But obviously, coming in at number 1, one of the very few movies I call flawless. It is perfect from beginning to end. War for the Planet of the Apes. It's such a sad movie, such a heavily emotional movie with all these incredible motion capture performance that so attach to you and to each character and to the journeys across the trilogy. I don't know if I said this before on the channel, but other than this trilogy and now Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the only other 2 Apes movies I have ever seen is the original with Charlton Heston and the Tim Burton one. I regret watching one of those. But I've never seen the original run, the original 5 movies or 4 movies, because I've seen the first one of the franchise. So that's what I'll be looking to do whenever I have time to put myself through 4 movies that I've never seen before. So that is my weekly ranking. Right now in the live chat, we do not have a single weekly ranking, so I'm just going to skip over to the main topic. If you guys in the meantime arrive on the show, you want to share your weekly rankings, just add them to the chat and I'll get to them as quickly or as organically, veering back and forth between that and the main topic as I can. All right. So with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our main topic because we have big, big news this week. Because Fantastic Four, throughout last week, they kept adding cast members. We got Paul Walter Hauser added to Marvel's Fantastic Four in a mystery role. So we do not know who he is playing. At least nothing is confirmed. Then we also got the news that John freaking Malkovich will be added to the film. He signed on to the film. He's going to be in the film. A lot of speculation around John Malkovich joining Fantastic Four just because he's extremely selective and extremely odd with the roles he does select these days. So it's an interesting pick, but it does remind you of the run in the MCU where with every single movie, you have this upcoming actor, this face you recognize, and they'd fill this cast with several generations of great actor, and to the point where a screen legend would come on, and it would always be one of those names. I never thought this person would join the MCU. And that was a time when the MCU went from strength to strength to strength. And John Malkovich joining Fantastic Four gives me that feeling exactly. Now, like I said, a ton of speculation about who he is playing. For a brief moment in time before Ralph Ineson came along, this was who people thought. As soon as he was announced, oh, he is playing Galactus. John Malkovich is going to be Galactus. I saw that speculation all over Twitter. I didn't believe that only because at the time, what I knew was that Javier Bardem had the offer for Galactus. So Marvel was just waiting on Bardem to go with a yes, go with a no, so they could offer it to someone else. Well, they did indeed offer it to someone else, but it was not John Malkovich. I've seen a ton of people speculate Herbie for John Malkovich. I don't think it's Herbie. They are very much looking for a comedian, and John Malkovich can be funny, don't get me wrong, but Marvel is very much looking for a comedian, male or female, to add to the cast as Herbie. I think John Malkovich is playing Franklin Storm. That is the father of Sue and Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four. This is essentially the person that recruits them to this experiment where they go to the negatives zone and become scientists and get hit with a dark matter that transforms them into the Fantastic Four. But he's also the one that finances this whole operation. I think this is a great fit for Malkovich. I think he can bring a lot of the gravitas he is known for. The gravitas he has not exercised for quite a long time on screen. So I think this is a great choice for him, and I think this is a great choice for Marvel Studios. Finally, last but not least, we have these 3 big names added to Fantastic Four. 2 of them, like we just discussed, Paul Walter Hauser, who could also be Herbie. That would be my guess in terms of these 2. Paul Walter Hauser, John Malkovich. They are in the film. We have no idea who they are playing. However, there is someone we do know who they are playing. Someone who is a staple in Fantastic Four stories, someone who has a very close relationship with Shalabal, aka the Silver Surfer, the herald of the devourer of worlds, Galactus, who will be in the movie, supposedly the main villain, and he will be played by one of the greatest voices in cinema, at least this generation, Ralph Ineson. If the name does not ring a bell, number one, it should. But even if you do not know his name, you know his voice. He is the father on The Witch. He is the Green Knight in The Green Knight. He was recently a villain in The Creator. Apparently, he's a Ravager pilot in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. If you went to see the first Omen, he is the father, the priest who is trying to find who the Antichrist is, or who is going to give birth to the Antichrist. He was also in the Pope's Exorcist. He literally voices the demon in that movie. So if you saw Pope's Exorcist, you thought the demon at the end had a great voice. There you go. That's Ralph Ineson. He's also in Joel Coen's and Denzel Washington's The Tragedy of Macbeth. He is in Gunpowder Milkshake, which is an underrated movie, to be honest. What else has he done that we know? He was in Doolittle, so let's not count that against him. He was apparently a voice in the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. He was in Chernobyl as one of the generals trying to protect what had actually happened in Chernobyl. He is in Ready Player One. I don't remember who he is in Ready Player One. Is he the stepfather? Does he have that small role in Ready Player One? Anyway, he's also in The Last Jedi, the best movie in the sequel trilogy, as a senior first order officer, not first officer order. He is in Sherlock, the BBC series Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. Apparently, he is in Huntman Windsor's War, which I'm the only person who likes that movie in the entire world. So if I don't remember him in that movie, I don't think anyone else does. He's a policeman in Kingsman: The Secret Service. Again, I genuinely do not remember him in that. So that gives me another excuse to rewatch Kingsman. And of course, I also don't remember him in Game of Thrones, but fittingly, he is in Game of Thrones. And that is one of the roles, one of the universes or shows or fantasy realms that he would fit in. So it feels natural that he's there. So again, in case you're not familiar with the name, even if you don't recognize his face, you 100% will recognize the impactful voice of Ralph Ineson. It's got grit, it's deep, it feels like it fills an entire room whenever he speaks, and you just feel the potency of that voice. So I'm going to tell you right now, I was part of me, even though I never expected it, I was very much rooting for Keith David to become Galactus. When I heard that Javier Bardem had the voice, not the voice, he certainly has the voice. When I heard that Javier Bardem had the offer, I was very happy with that choice, even though he wasn't mine. You know who else wasn't my choice? Because I wasn't even considering it. Ralph Ineson. And as soon as the news came out, I could not have been happier with this. It is such a flawless, perfect fit from character to actor. He is a sensational actor, not just, I talked about his voice plenty, but even his presence on screen. He is a wonderful, wonderful on screen presence. And I think he's going to crush it as Galactus. Not just at this giant being bigger than the entire world, much like Arasham in Eternals, but then he speaks with that voice to the point I don't even think Marvel needs to modify his voice in post. It's not one of those voices that you need to echo and gravel around and put some special audio effects around it. Now this dude can just sound like that naturally. That's how good he is. That's how good and distinct of a voice he has. The casting of Ralph Ineson, to me, honestly might be the most exciting casting news for the Fantastic Four I've heard, including the Fantastic Four themselves with Pedro Pascal and Yvonne and Vanessa and Joseph. I'm happy for everyone who's already involved in this film. That casting news made me super happy. However, Ralph Ineson just raised the fucking bar for this film. Before we keep going, let's address, as we are on the main topic, Let's address Luis Feliciano, who sent us a super chat. Thank you so much, Luis. Can you see Paul Walter Hauser as Irby? We just talked about this. I can very much see him as Irby. I can also see him as Mole Man if he is in the movie at all. I have no idea what other characters are supposed to be in the movie. I hear the rumors just like anyone else, but in terms of credibility, I don't know of anyone else who is actually supposed to be in Marvel's Fantastic Four. Again, John Malkovich could also be Herbie, but I don't expect that. If anything, I expect Paul to be Herbie and John Malkovich, Franklin Storm, the father of Susan, and Johnny. That's just how I see things playing out. But again, just like I was saying, I don't think John Malkovich is Herbie because they're looking for a comedian, male or female. Paul Walter Hauser is a really fucking funny guy. I don't think of him as comedian. He's an actor who is funny, but he is not a comedian per se. So yeah. All right. And since we're here, since we paused anyway, let's take a look at Eric Thorpe's weekly ranking, the first weekly ranking besides my own today. And he shares number 1, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Number 2, War for the Planet of the Apes. Switch those two around. Number 3, X-Men 97. Also put that one ahead of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Number 4, Better Call Saul, which I've never seen. The Fall Guy is way too low. And number 6, Maniac, which I never finished. I started that show because I was very excited. And then I didn't keep up with it. So it wasn't that good. Tony Movie Chappie also shares his weekly ranking. Number 4, Black Hat. If that's in the Michael Mann Black Hat starring Chris Hemsworth, I am happy someone likes that movie. Number 3, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Number 2, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And number 1, War for the Planet of the Apes. That is correct. War for the Planet of the Apes. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. Maybe should have won the Oscar that year. So yeah. I'm not mad at who else won the Oscar. I'm just saying War could have and maybe should have in another world. All right. Let's leave up Luis' super chat. And again, thank you for the support, Luis. Let's see. Because going back a little bit to Fantastic Four, there's not much to speculate about Ralph Ineson as Galactus. Because as soon as you see that casting announcement, I can 100% see that. And he's also not an actor who, for us cinephiles, for us hardcore film nerds, he's associated with quite a few roles. The Green Knight, The Father and the Witch, everything that we discussed so far. But he doesn't have that mainstream role everyone knows him for. And when I say everyone, general audiences. My parents, your grandparents, your friends, your sisters, your brothers, all of that. Ralph Ineson doesn't have that role yet. Ralph Ineson, if you say the name Ralph Ineson to general movie audiences, they don't know who that is. And then you'll show them a face. And a few of them, I recognize them. And then you'll show them the voice. Some will recognize them. The ones that don't, they will be immediately intrigued that this is an actual voice that was not modified in post with any sort of effects or edits. This is just how the dude sounds. So immediately, as you see that casting, I don't think anyone doubts what he can, what he will bring to Galactus, nor does anyone doubt or question why Marvel would hire him for this role. Of course they would. It's such a perfect choice. It could become one of those choices so high up there with the Robert Downey Jr.'s as Iron Man, the Margot Robbies as Harley Quinns, the Chris Evans as Captain America, the Chris Hemsworths as Thor, the Anthony Hopkins as Odin, the Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. All these choices that have become so legendary that we all adore, that we all such big fans of. Ralph Ineson feels like he fits right in that category with those stars, those actors, and that marriage between character and actor. So again, I could not be happier with this casting. I think this is shaping up generally speaking, the cast is shaping up to be something really, really special. If all these actors who genuinely look at them, even Backrack was in the Punisher series. Other than that, none of these people have been associated with superhero movies. They never had these big roles in such a large scale film and all that. Don't get me wrong, Vanessa Kirby, even Joseph Quinn with Stranger Things, Pedro Pascal, they're all fucking stars. That's why they were hired. But to get this collection of names, they didn't just get Pedro Pascal, they didn't just get Vanessa Kirby, and so on and so forth. They got all these people. Julia Garner as Shala Bal. I forgot to mention her. What's that going to be like? What is her relationship with Galactus going to be like? That's what I'm most interested in. This cast is just stacked. And when you see all these names put together in a Marvel movie, that is something we haven't seen in a while. This feels like we're getting back to the Marvel standard where they were riding high on top of the world. Rightfully so. Again, you know this. I say this. I have not lost my love for Marvel. I have not lost my love for the MCU. I love these movies. I love superhero movies. I love this cinematic universe. And I want the rest of the world to go back to loving them. And that depends on them. So this cast, all these announcements, this looks amazing for me. All right, everyone. So with that out of the way, again, whenever it's just me discussing these main topics, we can go through them rather quick. So let's get to your questions. Now, again, on the community tab where there's a post with the thumbnail for this video, you can find the post asking for your questions there. Now I'm going to put them all in order. And then when Zach comes, if you have Zach-specific questions, I'm just going to skip them. But then when he arrives on the show, I will let him answer. All right. And we start with Andrew Seif. What are your thoughts on the first look we got of James Gunn's Superman? I'm going to disappoint a lot of you with my answer to this. When I say looks okay. It looks like Superman. It looks like Superman in his house, which looks like it's a very nice house. The suit looks really good. I'm a fan of the suit. We've had these different iterations of the suits. I don't have strong enough opinions on the movie Superman suits where I like rank them or anything. I will say this is the second movie Superman suit that I've liked. So I'll leave it at that. Luis Feliciano with another super chat. Thank you so much, Luis. Jacob Elordi as Silver Surfer. I do not see it. Not at all. This being the guy who rejected the offer to play Superman because it's too dark, and he's gonna play Silver Surfer when he's just going on the up and up right now in his career. Like, he's not looking for supporting roles. I think he'd also be not into the whole makeup all over your body kind of thing. So I don't see it as a fit. I don't think he would be interested. And I don't know that the Silver Surfer as we know him, nor in Rad, I don't know that Silver Surfer is in the movie. Now, I said it before. I expect him to be, one way or another, maybe just a final scene. Maybe he's the Silver Surfer when the Fantastic Four gets plucked away from their universe into ours. But I don't know that the Silver Surfer is in the movie. So it's tough to say right now. But Jacob Elordi specifically, that casting, I don't see it happening. Again, I don't see it as a fit personally. I also don't think he would be interested in the role at all. But yeah, going back to James Gunn's Superman, which is coming out in the same month as Fantastic Four. So we're going to have the next Barbenheimer, and it's going to be called Super Fantastic. But the picture, it's a picture. Honestly, the biggest point of discussion for me was theorizing on what the fuck is happening in the background, as there's a big beam of light crashing into the earth. It looks like Vegeta is shooting out a Gallic gun down at Goku. at the end of the Saiyan saga in Dragon Ball Z. If you've seen Dragon Ball Z, you completely understood that reference. If not, you think I'm just making shit up. But it does look like that. As far as the picture, it's a picture. It's a first look. It's fine. I don't like the trunks, but they're hiding the trunks for a reason. Other than that, I genuinely don't have much to say. It's a picture of Superman. It looks like Superman to me. All right, now let me see a trailer. That's the first thing I will actually be judging and analyzing and reviewing, and I will have something to say one way or another. All right. Andrew Seif also asked, what are your thoughts on the details we got for the Office spin-off series? Oh, shit. You're up early.
Yes, I am. Hello.
There goes. He was here for the Dragon Ball Z reference. Now, I wasn't looking at you. Did you just throw a t-shirt out and then put that one on when I mentioned Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Okay, good.
Hey.
I would be disappointed if you did. I'm glad you were just on Dragon Ball Z mode. Welcome, Zach. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you earlier than we expected. Before we keep going, because we're just 2 questions in, do you want to give us your thoughts on the casting news for the Fantastic Four? Paul Walter Hauser, mystery role.
Okay.
John Malkovich.
Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, I just started the question, so I'm only 2 questions in, and I want to hear your thoughts on the main topic. So those 2 actors, mystery roles, Ralph Ineson as Galactus.
Okay, so let me start with Ralph Ineson's first. When I saw it, I was like, first off, I'm not gonna lie. When I read Ralph, I saw Ralph Fiennes. I'm like, that's weird.
Would have also been a great choice.
Yeah, because I didn't see the picture, and then I kept scrolling, and then I saw Ralph, and I'm like, that is a casting I never even thought about.
No,
but
exactly.
It makes, honestly, because Javier Bardem would have been good, but it makes Javier Bardem's look dumb.
Yeah,
like this is like your perfect casting.
Yeah.
So I'm all in on it. John Malkovich, shocked they got him.
Yeah.
But Franklin Storm, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then the Mole Man one.
Okay, so you think he's Mole Man?
1000%. I have heard for the longest time that Mole Man has a small role in this film. So I think he's Mole Man. I think it makes
the main
sense.
Villain, would you say?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Now, I do want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
With the casting this week, going with the casting that we've heard for the last couple of months, I think, because I did a YouTube short like a couple months back where it was like ranking upcoming MCU films with excitement. And this was at the bottom. I was not that excited for that. Like, I just like, dude, the more I hear about this, the alternate universe stuff, everything of that, this is probably my besides Deadpool and Wolverine. This is probably my most.
That one's already like it's basically here, so that almost doesn't even count at this point.
But this is probably my most anticipated project now. Yeah. Just with everything involved, all the things. It's in a different universe, so it's going to be its own thing, basically. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to strike it up. No matter what happens over the next couple of months. We have Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think is a surefire hit. Where some fans, like the Griffin Schillers of the internet, shout out to Griffin, will not like the film. And that's okay. Then you have Captain America, which I think most will like, but I think it'll still be a little bit messy. Thunderbolts, I think most will like. I think this will be the film that makes everyone go, oh, Marvel's back. That was fantastic.
Collectively.
And I think this will be that big surprise. I think how big Fantastic Four is, I think this is genuinely going to be like their not surefire hit. Because I don't know if it'll make a ton of money, but I think in the terms of the critic rating, this will probably be one of the highest rated things in audience and critics alone, which is already saying a lot for Marvel. So I think this is going to be something special. I am very, very excited for this. But Ren, can I share my weekly ranking before we move forward?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Because I watched a movie this week that you told me not to watch. It was my favorite thing I watched this week. So, at the bottom. Yes, it is. At the bottom, is I Saw the TV Glow. Have you watched this yet? Did you
I have
see it at
not.
any
I
of the
know
film
what it is.
festivals?
I know you were excited, and I know I wasn't excited for it because I saw the trailer and it's like, the fuck is
You see
this?
my Letterboxd review?
I didn't see your letterbox review. I saw your tweet.
Okay, well, it's my least favorite thing I watched this week. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Not my cup of tea. It had me for about 30 minutes, and then it was just whiplash. I'm into this. I'm not. This is dumb. Okay, I don't get it. Oh, now I kind of. Okay, that's weird again. It has the cinematography is really good. The performance is really good. Not my cup of tea. I didn't like it. I don't get the hype.
Sell
Then
sell me the movie. Like, what would you like? What is the synopsis? Because I didn't get it from the trailer.
uh uh
What would you say like is like the premise?
um two friends who bond over a cheesy 70s or a cheesy CW show
Okay.
end up their show ends up getting canceled.
Okay.
That's it. That's basically like I genuinely don't know what else to say because
Does not
everyone
sound too interesting.
no, and that's the synopsis on Google.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I honestly I wouldn't recommend it at all.
I probably won't get it. It probably doesn't have a release date here, so I probably
No,
won't
so it's
watch
not.
it either way.
No.
If
So,
I do,
but
it's at home.
yeah, but up next I have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Ah man, this is probably my second favorite out of the modern saga. I literally love this movie so much. I had one issue, and my one issue was I wish it was actually longer. I think I wanted to live in this world a little bit more. I wanted to get more of Raka. I wanted to get more of Noah's group. I wanted to get more of Promixius. Is it Promixius? Yeah, Proximus Caesar. I didn't think we got enough of him. I didn't think we got enough of the culture itself. And that's the one thing. The one thing. But where my devil's advocate is to that, they did such a good job on building up Noah as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm like, yeah, I could see myself venturing with Noah as long as possible. Or just this new generation. So very, very happy with that. But my number one of the week, Ren, is the Pop-Tart movie. I watched Unfrosted last night. Yes, I did.
No, but it's not
It's
your
my
number
number
one.
one. It's my number one of the week. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
You
5
certainly
out of
do
5.
not have it ahead of X-Men 97.
I didn't watch X-Men 97 this week. I didn't have time. I'd made it dedicated that I was gonna watch Unfrosted this week. So if I had to watch one thing last night, it was either Unfrosted or X-Men, and I chose Unfrosted.
You chose poorly.
I know I did because it was a 5 out of 5 movie, man.
Uh-huh.
It was such a no. Okay, if I'm being honest, I put it on for. So I told my mother-in-law how bad the movie was. So I was like, let's watch it. So I'm watching the first 10 minutes. I'm like, this is fucking awful. So then.
And those are just the first 10 minutes.
So then I had to leave. So I was like, do you want to finish this? Or you want me to change it? She goes, I'll just finish it. I want to see how bad it gets. So I come home like 3 hours later. Oh, how bad was the movie? She goes, don't talk to me. That was awful. But we are gonna watch Iron Claw this week. They finally put it on.
Yes,
HBO
nice.
Max. So her and my wife are finally gonna see it. Very, very happy for that. But no, really, my number one of the week, I did watch something. It was my wedding video. That was the best movie of the year. It's the best movie of the year. I've watched it like 10 times. So, and then I edited my own in timeline order of the whole day. I went through all the raw footage.
I want to see that.
I'll send you if you remind me, I'll send you the link.
Yeah,
I have the link for it.
Yeah, I'll ask for it. All right, Zach, do you want to give us your thoughts on the first look at the James Gunn Superman?
Oh yeah, I like it. It didn't blow me away. I think I was expecting him to do something bigger for the reveal because he kept like pushing it back. And honestly, the only reason this picture came out is because they're gonna film outside with the suit. That's all.
Yeah, true.
Like, but they should have done, and I post this on Twitter. They should have done what Matt Reeves did. Done with him with the Batman suit. They should have done that with Superman.
But a Superman version. Obviously, don't do that tone for Superman.
Yeah, and they should have had the score, or somewhat like, or just put the original score behind it.
Yeah,
or have a mix of all of them if you didn't have it yet. Like, I think this was a very lazy way to put it. The photo's cool, but I don't care. It looks like something that would be on EW's magazine cover. So, I like the suit, but I need to see it in motion. I didn't love it.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll love it when it's moving around.
Yeah. We'll wait for a trailer to give our judgment.
Mhm.
All right. Andrew C. also asks, what are your thoughts on the details we got for the Office spin-off series? Here's my thoughts. Because for the way they're selling it, the way they're marketing it, the way they announced it, and the ideas they got for it, all that, it's a revival. The way they spoke of it, it's not a spin-off. It's not it's a revival. It's just called The Office again. And then you read these details that came out. This is just its own show.
Yep.
You're just planting the brand, The Office, onto it. Which, fair enough. It's marketing. You own the brand. You do whatever the fuck you want with it, as long as you give me a good show in return. And it's starring Donald Gleason, so I'm definitely going to be watching the series. But it's just confusing because all of these details, all they told me was, okay, this is its own thing, which is good on one hand. You're not just doing The Office again. It's like, call it something else. Use it for something else. Don't be dependent on the brand. It's a great brand. I love The Office, but it just feels confusing. All right. What about you, Zach?
I don't care. Can it be funny still?
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest thing. I was surprised on the casting when I saw Gleason got casted, but I don't care. I do not care at all. And my biggest thing is, can it be funny?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have been weirdly more intrigued if they brought back the side characters, at least in the background, and then like had them in a new office or something. Yeah, I would have been like, but and don't get me wrong, they said this is taking place in the same world. You're gonna see a cameo. You're gonna see someone. That's just how it works. But like, I would have preferred that, and I don't know if they would have been able to do this. I would have gotten Bob Odenkirk, who was originally supposed to play Michael Scott, or I would have gotten one of the other actors.
I didn't know that.
That's why, if you remember that episode where Pam is applying to that new job and Bob Odenkirk's the manager and he's acting like Michael Scott, that was a whole thing for that. He was one of the finalists.
Okay.
I would have done something like that, to where it's a new office setting with some of the same people, but overall a brand new upfront cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, is Gleason the Michael Scott role? I'm not saying he's going to play Michael Scott, but is he the main boss? I assume he is. What are they selling? I think, because I work in an office, so like I think there is things to have in there.
Who are you?
I think we asked this. I'm probably Jim.
Okay.
I'm probably Jim. I would say so.
Okay.
But sometimes they make pretty off, pretty why are you asking me that questions?
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes I'm like a little Dwight. It just kind of depends on the day.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah, like, my last thing I'll say about this, if they are going to do this, I hope the office is actually bigger. I think it should be bigger. I think you should go big corporation if you're going to do it.
I see. Yeah.
I think if you want to play off the idea, I think that'd be more funny.
All right.
But
yeah,
I'll see. I'll still watch it. I'll check it out. But I don't know. I'm not dying for it, Ren.
No, I agree. All right. What's next? Do you want to take us to the next question?
Yeah, Lady Aaron. It's sad that movies like The Fall Guy, which is meant to be seen on the big screen, not doing well at the box office during its first weekend, which we predicted here on This Week in Geek. So
you predicted, not so much.
But no, we did on this show together, somewhat. Even though I said it. The Fall Guy only got $28 million. What do you think are the main reasons for which The Fall Guy didn't do well at the box office despite the incredible promotion? I think it's a couple things. They peaked too early. South by Southwest came out, and it was too early. It's the same thing that happened with Booksmart. It's the same thing that happened with not Us, because Us premiered right. Oh, Long Shot was another one. Both films premiered at South by in March, premiered in May, June. Hype gone. It peaked. because they kept doing screenings throughout, like they did with Fall Guy. Screened in May, or screened in March, screened in April, started screaming a lot more. But by then, the hype's already gone. So, to the general going audience, they're on to the next thing, which was Apes.
And there's too much offer because
Yep.
Fall Guy comes out. Oh, I want to see this, but next week I got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's already a franchise. I already love apes. This is supposedly going to be a new trilogy. The week before we had what did we get the week before? Why am I blanking? The week before, not even the week before, but a few weeks prior.
You have
Challengers, which is making good money. Godzilla X Kong. People went to see that. That's already a franchise. Those are names. And now we got Deadpool. So we have to be very selective because tickets are expensive. People.
And that's what's wild to me is because If I'm very interested to see what If does this weekend in the United States, because right now it's projected to make 45 to 50 million.
Shit, okay.
Which for a new IP, that's huge. But it's also because it's a kids film.
The theater, my cinema today was packed for the If screening. Packed.
So I'm so excited. Oh, so you saw it?
Oh, I've seen it.
Did you tweet a reaction? Can I read it?
I haven't tweeted a reaction, but I can give you a thumbs up. It's embargoed until the 15th, 2 p.m. my time. So 6 a.m. your time. That's on Wednesday. That's when the embargo lifts.
Okay. I see it Tuesday. I'm very excited. They're selling stuffed animals of the main one at the theater that I usually go to, so I hope they have it because I want to buy him. What's his name? What's his name? The purple one? Blue, but he's purple.
That's exactly what the main character says.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds or Kaylee?
No, the Kaylee, yeah.
Okay. I love Kaylee. She was so good on The Walking Dead. She plays...
They said.
I don't know if he... Yeah, she plays the baby grown up. She is awesome in that show.
She is wonderful in the movie.
That's awesome.
So is Krasinski, so is Reynolds, so is everyone, really. Yeah. Carell is wonderful.
Yeah. By the
way, see throughout the film if you can catch certain voices. Because then in the credits, you'll be like, oh, this person was in there. Oh, this person was in there. Oh, like there's 3 names in particular.
I'm going to ask you after. I have a question on one. I have a feeling on one that I have. So
go ask me in the private chat. All right. Let me just find the 4th question. Here we go. Andrew C. What are your thoughts on the 2024 Met Gala? No thoughts. I don't watch the Met Gala. I have zero. I've seen the pictures of Sydney Sweeney at the Met Gala, so I like those. That's it. Zach, do you have any thoughts on the Met Gala? What is the Met Gala? That's the thing. People like parading on weird dresses.
I think it's a weird dress phenomenon where they all go into a building and we don't know what happens in the building.
Exactly.
And then they have a giant orgy and that's it.
Ooh. So all those weird apparatus they put on as clothes, they just get taken off.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Because we talk about the Met Gala, but once they go inside that building, if there is a gala, we don't actually see a gala. So I don't know why we talk so much about the Met Gala. Nobody has ever seen the Met Gala.
Watch. Now I'm going to go on Google.
The Met Gala, but not the gala itself. All right. But in regards to your question, no.
I kind of feel like an ass now.
No, don't.
No. I'm being serious. It's an annual fundraiser for the benefit of the Metropolitan Museum of Art's costume institution. So that's why they wear weird dresses.
Weird costumes. But what do they do when they go inside, though? What happens?
They said this is the Oscars or the Super Bowl of the fashion world.
That's why I don't care about it.
So.
All right. What's next?
Thoughts on Michelle Yeoh being cast in Prime Video's Blade Runner series?
Cool. Michelle Yeoh is great. It's a Blade Runner show, so I'm definitely interested. I don't know that, again, we never need a movie or a show, but I don't know that we need this series. Let's see what comes of it. But if you're going to make a show, you add talent to it. So yeah, Michelle Yeoh, Oscar winner. So what about you?
To quote what I said in our Twitter group when someone sent it, I sent the gif of Deadpool saying, "I'm touching myself tonight."
Yeah, it was me who sent it, by the way.
I love it. Yeah, it's a good casting, and they got the. I have not watched Shogun yet, but they got the one of the directors of Shogun to do this show. So
yes, they do.
I'm not huge on Blade Runner, so you got to really shock me. I love 2049. I love 2049. I do not love the original. So Ridley Scott's producing this one, so it'll probably be a fucking bore fest.
All right. Lady Aaron, thoughts on Sigourney Weaver being in talks to star in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Cool. It's been a while since we've seen Sigourney Weaver in anything other than Avatar and the one cameo she had in Ghostbusters Afterlife. But more Sigourney Weaver is never a bad thing. I'm just happy we get more of her. What about you?
I hope she's the villain.
Yeah, same.
That's what I hope. I don't think you rarely see her in a villain role.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her being some kooky character or one-off. I really hope she is the villain.
You rarely see female villains in Star Wars in the movies and shows, at least.
And I think they were gonna go personally. I think this is gonna somewhat start connecting to Thrawn personally. So I'd love what if she plays a bounty hunter that Thrawn hires or some shit like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thrawn, what if Thrawn's like, okay, we need to get shit in order. They have Mandalore back. That's not a thing. Who helped with this? Oh, these two? Go after them, finish them, do whatever. And basically it's like a race. I don't know. But give her Mandalorian armor or bounty hunter armor. Let's see her be a badass.
All right. What's next?
What are your thoughts on the Hunt for Golem movie coming out in 2026? I think the question should be, what were our thoughts when we heard a Lord of the Rings film was coming out, and then we read it was Hunt for Golem?
Yeah,
because that's how it went for me. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. When they announced in the morning when I woke up, a new Lord of the Rings film, written by Peter Jackson, produced by Peter Jackson. I said, cool, Andy Serkis is probably going to direct it. That's fine with me. I'm all cool with that.
And he is.
Yeah, and he is. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep an open mind to it. Let's see how it is. How about you guys start marketing the animated one you have later this year? That would be pretty cool. Then they said Hunt for Golem, and I lost all interest. Every bit of interest I could have ever had with this. I think this is an awful idea. I hope I'm wrong. But this is an awful idea. Awful. And not just semi-okay. Awful. My friend who is a massive Lord of the Rings fan, he sent me the news, the first thing where it was like, oh, they're making new... And this is George.
Yeah.
And so I said, do you know what the film's about? And he goes, no, ? And so I sent him this, and he goes, lost interest. Massive Lord of the Rings fan. His favorite movie of all time.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah. One of his favorite. His real favorite film is... You'll just take all film criticism away from him if I tell you, so I'm just going to leave it.
Tell me. No, I won't.
The Dictator with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, no, I think we had talked about this.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, while I was there. Yeah.
But I don't care for this, man. Do you? Do you want to see Golem again? I don't want to.
I do not give a shit. I sincerely could not be less interested. My interest is literally neutral right now. It doesn't exist.
Oh, mine dropped.
It just feels like a desperation move on WB where they're like, do we have the IP of Lord of the Rings still? Yes. Can we make a movie about it? I guess. Let's fucking do it then. But Batgirl has to be a tax write-off for some reason. Same with Coyote versus Acme, which is stupid. I just right now I cannot muster any interest for this. Why am I interested in seeing Gollum again? I'm not. I couldn't be less interested in seeing Gollum again. As much as I adore Andy Serkis in the role, somewhat curious to see him direct again because he's made 2 movies that I've seen.
3.
Three. Breathe, the Mowgli movie, and Venom Let There Be Carnage. 3 fucking vastly different films, and now so is Gollum. we'll see. But I don't have.
I have to ask you: are
Yeah.
they doing it the Hunt for Gollum because could potentially be a smaller Lord of the Rings film, and they can market it as Lord of the Rings on a smaller budget?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
1,000% they are. Of course they are.
Dude,
Yeah.
I do not. I literally do not care for this. I
No,
cannot believe they are doing this. Like
same.
they just, and I don't know if it's because I don't know if you know they came out with a Golem video game last year. Do you remember hearing about
I
this?
remember this. Yeah.
It was one of the. I
Anthony
played
was terrible.
30 minutes of it. It was one of the worst video games I've ever played.
You played 30 minutes more than I did.
So I didn't buy it. I didn't fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
All right. Mandalorian Grogu, Hunt for Gollum. Andrew C., what are your thoughts on the Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max bundle? Cable is back, baby. Welcome back to the early 2000s, where cable is the only way to watch television. And it feels like that's exactly what they're doing. They're just going back. They're regressing instead of progressing. Where we have lived, when you think about it, we have lived in the era of streaming for so little time. Streaming has not been around that long. Look at how long cable and standard broadcast TV were around before we even got to streaming. And look, within all that time, how much they progressed and they adjusted and they adapted to new times, new challengers, new challenges, new innovations, all that. Streaming did not have any of that evolution, any of that setback, and any of that innovation. We just had streaming for a few years, and now, because they cannot think of a way to innovate and to stand out amongst the pack, because we are in the streaming wars, they're just going, all right, let's get back to cable. A new version of cable, sure, but this is what cable is. I'm not happy about it. I have no interest in it. And I'll tell you what, Zach, this keeps going. Maybe I'll be the only one, but I will be the guy whose decision is, okay, I'll just cancel them all and I'll pirate everything. Because with streaming, everything's available for piracy. And with all this bullshit with tax write-offs and increasing the prices monthly and all that, all right. I mean, you're just promoting piracy. That's what you're doing. So might as well steer into the skid, right? I don't think it's good news, Andrew. I don't think it's good news, and I think if others continue to do this, now we also got the Sony Paramount thing. I don't like what's happening at all. Zach,
They didn't even announce a price, so I don't know how to feel. Like that's my thing. Like because I pay
$45 a week.
I wouldn't be shocked. I paid Disney for the whole year, so I got like 2 months cheaper, whatever the deal is. And then Max I pay monthly.
$20 cheaper.
I mean, you got to make that deal good for me too. So like, I don't know. I'm not pissed about the bundle. I knew this was coming. What I'm more annoyed about is the pricing. And then, like you said, like these feeling like they have nothing. What I'm actually getting to the point of is just doing a free trial every fucking month and just making a new email. Like genuinely, like it takes 0.2 seconds to make an email. Like I'll just start doing that or just cancel it when I'm not watching it and just bring it back when something comes up that I want to watch.
Yeah.
It would be, even if it's like say I wanted to watch Ironclaw. I didn't want to go buy it on Blu-ray, but I want to watch it. It's going on HBO Max. I cancel HBO Max. So for $15, I can rent it for 1 month, basically watch HBO Max for 1 month, pay for it, cancel my thing after I'm done watching it, and then watch other shit that I need to watch. So I don't know. It's all crap. It's all crap, and I'm over it. I'm over it, man. I'm over the streaming game. I'm over cable. I'm over the fucking industry. You know what's got our back though? You know what's got our back though?
What's got our back?
Blu-rays,
4K steelbooks, and physical media for life.
Until they stop that.
Until it's All right, what's next? Another reason they're promoting piracy.
Which I'll tell you right now. no matter what happens, the day they stop selling Blu-rays, because I know it's coming. I know it's going to happen one day. It'll be funny because I know what will happen. It'll turn into vinyl. It will. It'll turn into fucking vinyl. The boom on vinyls right now is insane.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. And then they're gonna start re-releasing everything. But all the original shit we have, it's pristine. This $2 copy of Jumper is gonna be worth like $70.
I think that's the most random thing you ever pulled on the podcast.
Oh, I looked for the most random thing.
Oh, okay.
I looked for the most random thing. Yeah, that was literally the most random thing I could have grabbed, and I'm happy I did.
Jumper is random. All right, what's next?
Can you see why I bought it? Because it was $2.
100%.
And to be honest, I probably got it cheaper than that.
Yeah,
Jumper
is fun.
So
it's not particularly memorable, but it's fun.
Thoughts on Dave Callahan being set to write the next Godzilla vs. Kong movie? Do you think this is a good match or not?
Do you want me to run through his credits before you answer?
He did Shang-Chi, I know, right?
Yes, he did Shang-Chi. He also did Doom 2005. He did the first Expendables. He did the second Expendables. He did Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. Oh, wait, hang on. No, he didn't do the second Expendables. He only did the first one. He then did Godzilla. He did Zombieland Double Tap.
I like that.
He did Wonder Woman 1984. He did Mortal Kombat 2019.
Oh, the new one. Okay.
He did America, the motion picture. It's terrible. He did Shang-Chi. You want to know what else he did, Zach?
What?
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Let me tell you this right now. This is a very whiplash.
Just
more.
He's also doing Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and he's writing that live-action Hercules movie. Go ahead.
I have a little bit of whiplash here because you just said a bunch of shit. And now, a lot of those movies arguably are not great.
Yeah.
Not great. But we don't go to Godzilla versus Kong movies for a great movie. We go to see them beat the shit out of each other and beat the shit out of other monsters.
It's WWE
and
movie.
The second you said Mortal Kombat, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes about sense on why he would be do this. I think he's a good pick for this. I don't think he's gonna write anything mind-blowing.
No,
obviously Spider-Verse is probably his biggest accomplishment. That and then Shang-Chi are arguably the best written films that he's done. But I will also say this: how much of the script did he do for those? I think Shang-Chi, the director probably went over. Maybe he wrote the outline or something of that nature. And then maybe Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond Spider-Verse, we know that the producers, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, have a big part in. So not saying that he wasn't the big accomplishment of those, but his track record does not show that correctly. But it's a decent match. He already wrote a Godzilla movie. Don't make it as boring as that one.
Keep it up with about the monsters like Godzilla X Kong.
Yeah, and I mean, just keep doing that. Like, that's what the American bases of these films in the MonsterVerse keep coming back to.
Yeah.
Continue down that path. That's why Godzilla X Kong was so much fun. So
I agree 100%. This is a good choice. I mean, he clearly wasn't involved in Godzilla X Kong, and because of that, my only question is, why don't you bring back the person who wrote Godzilla X Kong? Look at the success of that movie. Look how much that movie understood.
What are they doing right now?
What you want to see these movies for?
Do you think the director comes back?
Oh yeah,
Adam Wingard,
100%.
Damn. Godzilla.
But yeah, I think this is a fit. Like you said, he wrote a Godzilla movie. Even the fact that he wrote an Expendables movie gives you just he's a good fit for this. Because the first Expendables, honestly, it's a movie that doesn't have a lot of action in it, which is ironic. But it is a movie that inherently understood its mission statement, what it was there for, to deliver to audiences. And if you can do exactly that in the world of Godzilla vs. Kong, as well, if not better than Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, or still the superior movie in that entire franchise, Kong Skull Island, 1000%. he's a great choice. And
all right, I think I know why they don't have the writers. So there's 3 writers on Godzilla X Kong.
Okay.
The first writer, he wrote. He's writing the next Pirates of the Caribbean, the reboot. So assuming that's his next project. 2, the other 2 writers are Adam Wingard's buddies. They're the ones that do it. So one basically has written every film he's ever done. The other one has written half of the films he's ever done. But he also did Moon Knight. He also did Godzilla. He also did Umbrella Academy. And then he went and did Mortal Kombat. But you know what other film he did? Jeremy Slater also wrote a film called Coyote versus Acme. What if he's like, fuck that, I'm not doing another film for them.
Nice. Yeah.
So could be a thing, man.
All right. You read the last one, right? You read Dave Callahan. Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on the first look we got for Batman Cape Crusader? This is a show I've been excited for a long time. Matt Reeves was behind it. Tim is behind it. They've always said it's a continuation of Batman the Animated Series. It's a spiritual successor. I'm like, cool. It isn't. Let's be fucking honest with each other. Like the way
it's probably a love letter towards it, in my opinion.
It's a love letter.
More what it is.
Again, the first look in itself, the 4 pictures we got, not much to them. Maybe the bat suits in that show isn't my favorite ever bat suits. I think it is particularly strange how you, on one picture, you have Bruce Wayne in a suit, all buff and large, and these square shoulders that barely fit the frame. And then you got Batman, who barely has any shoulders. It's like, aren't those 2 the same person? What the fuck is going on? Unless that actually isn't Bruce Wayne in that picture, which, awesome. Give me that intrigue. Someone is pretending to be Batman and all that. But again, much like Superman, it's pictures, not much to judge it on, in my opinion, on the good or on the bad. What about you?
They should have dropped the trailer. I don't know why they just dropped pictures.
I don't like Harley.
Maybe. Okay. I think they might hold it till after The Boys. Personally, they could, because it's not until August. So, maybe they do a teaser before. But I'm not sold on Harley's look. That was the thing. Like, I like the idea of what they're doing with Harley because I read the interview, but I didn't like Harley's look. I thought it looked
me neither.
Like, let's be different to be different.
Yeah.
Other than that,
where it doesn't look like Harley, it's just a random person in a costume.
Yeah. So let me. I got to see the show. I got to see the tone. I got to see what it is.
Yeah.
I love everyone involved. With this, but I don't know. Part of me wouldn't have minded if this was like Pattinson's Batman in the future, and this is like more adventures of him. And then when we go and see the movie, it's like the build up to that version. But or afterwards, this show came out. So I don't know. It looks cool. More Batman content is always sometimes good content. So let me check it out. Well, maybe it'll be an X-Men 97. Maybe I'll watch it and be like, this is the best show on TV right now. Yeah. So, I don't know.
All right. What's next?
Thoughts on FX looking to make a season 2 of the show Shogun? Do you think it deserves to have a second season, or do you think it should have had 1 season? I've not watched the show, but I'll tell you right now, if you didn't think they were going to do a second season of this show, you're fucking crazy. Even if they said they weren't going to.
Yeah, because they finished the book. It was supposed to be a limited series. I'm happy. Again, I still have not had time to watch the finale, so I still don't know what happens in the finale. I don't know where it ends to go from a first season into a second season, but judging from what I did see of Shogun, I'm happy we're getting more of it because I love this show. I love this show. It's so good. Apart from Portuguese people not being in it, despite all the characters saying the Portuguese are here, and not one single motherfucker speaks Portuguese. So, all right. Next up, we have. Oh, I had a jump.
I have the next one. I can start reading.
Go for it.
Thoughts on the new trailer that we got for Quiet Place Day 1? I did not watch it.
Me neither. So, moving on to the next one. Nathan Holton, thoughts on SmackDown last night? Solid episode of SmackDown. Nothing particularly standoutish about it, apart from the stupid decision of having Logan Paul challenge Cody Rhodes. But yeah, I know. Even Zach, who is not an avid wrestling watcher, puts on that face, so you know something went wrong. All right, I'm gonna read.
Hey, are you gonna be watching the Mike Tyson one? The Mike Tyson versus Jake
No, that's
Paul?
boxing. I don't.
No, I know, but I didn't know because I don't watch boxing.
Yeah,
But
me
me and my
neither.
dad
Boxing
have
is boring, except in
me and my
movies.
dad have
Boxing in movies
have
is
a
awesome.
bet.
Boxing in
I
real
bet-
life is boring as shit.
I bet my dad that Mike Tyson's not going to win, or like
Ooh.
ultimately win. Like they might tie or something like that.
Oh, okay.
My dad got all pissed at me. He goes, "There's no fucking way." I'm like, "Hear me out. I hope Mike Tyson wins, but I do not think he's going to win."
I hope he does. I hope he smacks that stupid kid in the lips.
I fucking hope so, man. I hope he smacks him right in the fucking face.
All
So
right,
wait, is this really happening? Logan Paul's going to fight?
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes?
He's going to challenge
belt?
Cody Rhodes for the title in the Saudi Arabia show, May 25th.
Already? Didn't
Yeah.
he just get the belt?
Yeah, but you defended. Cody just defended last weekend in France.
Oh, okay.
Pay-per-view. Yeah.
But he's gonna win, right? Like
100%. I'll be shocked if he does. I'll be shocked and pissed and depressed, and I might just shoot myself if he doesn't.
someone needs to clip that and put it on Twitter and tag Cody Rhodes, WWE, The Rock, everything.
That is blood on your hands, more than already is, because they're doing shows in Saudi Arabia. All right. What's next?
Thoughts on the passing of KTLA 5 News reporter Sam Rubin. Did you know who Sam is?
I have no idea who this is.
I don't know either, but it's always sad to lose someone in the film.
My condolences to his family, to his friends,
yeah.
but I just never heard of this person. So
yeah.
There we go. Nathan Holton, what will happen with SmackDown and pay-per-view next year for WWE as Netflix have only bought Raw? Makes no sense. Raw will play on Netflix. SmackDown plays somewhere else.
Probably Peacock.
Are on the WWE network. It's simple. Think of this as just Raw is changing channels, but Raw is still playing on Mondays. SmackDown is still playing on Fridays. Pay-per-views are still on the weekend. That's it. So it's the exact, basically for us and for the progression of the story, of the storylines and narrative, nothing is changing. It's just they're getting more money. They're getting more liberty to give us more blood, swear words, not BPG, all of that. And they don't have time restraints because sometimes you're watching Raw and something big is going down and they've run out of time on cable. So they have to cut the feed on TV. Netflix, that's not going to fucking happen. They have the arena booked the whole night, so they could be there up until 3 a.m. All right. Nathan also asked thoughts on Jodie Comer. I don't know Jodie Comer, but as an actress, she's very good. Zach?
I hate her. I think she's a terrible actress. No, I'm kidding. What was the movie she was in? The Last Duel. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Very excited to see her in Bike Riders.
Yeah, she's very good in Bike Riders. All right, what's next?
Lady Aaron, have you watched the final trailer that we got for Furiosa? If so, what are your thoughts on it? As always, you know us. We don't watch those final ones. Nope. But I don't need to because someone's seeing it this week. So,
yeah, bastard. So, I have not gotten my invite yet. I know I will. I have not.
It's very weird. I had to take the day off from work. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, and then it's literally at like 12 p.m. our time.
Holy shit. Okay.
So, and then by the time I'd get off, I'm like, there's no point in me driving to fucking work.
You know what? So, you know what time the Garfield movie is tomorrow here?
Oh, what time? Because mine's at a weird time on Sunday. It's on a Sunday.
Ours is on tomorrow. Yeah. So when we have these just for context, when we have these kid-friendly movies here, they're morning screenings because of the kids, and they're on weekends. For instance, today, was the general time these happen in. Like, same thing happened
at 10 a.m.
TMNT. Right? Doors open at 10:15. Movie starts at 11.
Yep.
Yeah. That's usual. Garfield tomorrow. The doors open at 9:30 a.m. and the
Oh.
movie starts at 10:15. I
See,
work
so
until midnight tonight, baby.
yeah. So my Garfield is not this Sunday, but next, and it's 1 p.m. in the
Ah,
afternoon. It's weird.
yeah, yeah.
Weird.
It's so strange, so strange.
Yeah.
All right. Do, 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 do. Where are we?
I have
Rumor.
it
Go for it.
if you need me.
Yeah,
Thoughts on
just
the new Twisters trailer and also thoughts on the movie being shot entirely on film. Didn't watch the trailer, don't want to.
didn't watch the trailer. Will not watch the trailer. Shot on
Especially when you see
film.
it's 3 minutes long.
Yeah, that's
Fuck that.
interesting, but also makes me concerned. Because if it's shot on film, it's about 3 times more expensive than it would have been otherwise. Which means if this movie doesn't make money, it's got an inflated budget to worry about, plus marketing. Let's hope it pays off. And look, I'm very, if you can. It's just
I think this
fact
film's gonna make a
is,
lot of money. I think this film's
I
gonna make
hope
a
so.
lot of money.
I
And
hope so.
I say that just because the buzz, general going audience, very excited. Everyone I talk to that's not in the movie sphere. Twisters,
Yeah.
when's that coming out?
Mhm.
So
All right. Lady Erin, so the Cannes Film Festival begins next week. Will you be attending this year or not? And if you are attending, which films are you most excited to see? No, I will not be attending this year or any year in the future. I have no interest in attending Cannes. I might be going to another big festival, but I am not sharing that right here, right now, just in case I jinx it. So, yeah. All right.
if you'd like to pay for him to go,
Yeah, if you want to pay for me to go, absolutely, I will go to Cannes. Pay for the flight, pay for the accommodation, everything else, I'll take care of it. But other than that, yeah, if you want to pay for me to go to Cannes, I'll go to Cannes. It's sunny right now. It's hot. It's also hot in London. Finally, it finally feels like summer. So yeah, what's next, Zach?
did you hear about the rumor about a third Incredibles movie finally in the works? Yes.
Yeah, it's a rumor. If it cool if it happens, I'll be down for another Incredibles. But
I think it's funny because no one talks about the other part of that rumor that the Finding
what's
Nemo
the other part of
3
the
was
rumor?
also basically said in the same
Oh,
thing.
was it?
Yeah, so
I did
where
not
this stems
know that.
from is the Insider, who basically, if it's Disney news, they
Yeah.
have all the things. So they do a Q&A once a month where people ask questions and then they give answers. And usually their answers are rumors or reports. They just don't do full things on, because then to do a whole report on a third Incredibles is in the movie is in the works. Okay, who's working on it? We don't know. We just know it's being made because it's a logical fucking thing. So they basically got asked, how do you feel about Bob Iger and the animation saying that we're going to do originals and sequels? They said, makes sense. They're already doing it. ELO, Toy Story 5, Zootopia, and then there's something else. Then they also said Princess and the Frog show may also be going to be a movie instead now, like Moana. Makes sense. They said that they were working on a 2D animated film. Okay. But at the end of this, they said, expect Incredibles 3 and Finding Nemo 3 to happen. Because that's the logical expectations. They'll always now do an original film, then a sequel. An original film, then a sequel. Balance it out. And how I see them doing it, honestly, with you, Ren, Pixar this year will be, well, Moana this year. But I think what we're going to consistently see is Disney gets their original film this year, Pixar gets their sequel film this year, vice versa. The next year, then it's Pixar gets the original film.
We get movies from each every 2 years.
Yeah, so we'll see a sequel. So like this year is I think in like 3 years, let's say Incredibles 3 kicks it off and we get a sequel to them. That in that year it'll be Disney Animation's original film. And then vice versa, they'll flip, change. Pixar gets to do an original one, Disney gets to do a sequel. So just for the time being, I think that's what we'll see. But let me say this, Raya and the Last Dragon sequel, please. Let's do it.
So good.
Let's do it.
Lady Erin, so Ren, have you watched the new Doctor Who series yet? If so, what are your thoughts on it so far? I have not, because it came out at midnight here, because I am a healthy, responsible boy, I was asleep by then. So I did not watch it yet. I will be watching it tomorrow, I think. Yeah, probably tomorrow. I don't have time to watch it any other time than tomorrow because after this, I gotta get ready, get out to go to work, and then I'll be back home after midnight, wanting to go to sleep as fast as possible so I don't fall asleep tomorrow on Garfield in the morning, and then I'll be watching Doctor Who in between Garfield and going to work again. So yeah. All right, what's next?
Thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. making his Broadway debut this fall? Are you excited for this? What can he see or do or not really? Or for this to see what he can do or not really? Well, I'll never see it because I'll never be able to go.
Exactly.
Same
here, I'm not excited. I had no idea what was happening, but awesome for RDJ. So yeah.
I'd rather him just make another movie with Shane Black. Am I wrong?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang 2.
Yeah.
Bangity Bang Bang is the name of the sequel.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Kiss Kiss Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
All right. I'll just read the next one too. Lady Aaron Zach, congrats on reaching 50,000 subs. Thank you so much. I'm so happy for you. You deserve this so much. Did you do anything to celebrate 50K or not really? And could there be a special video incoming for us to celebrate this YouTube milestone? I have not done anything to celebrate yet. It was just more, yay, finally, and it was fun. I do want to do a live stream to celebrate it. I don't know if I'll do it this weekend because it's Mother's Day, and I don't know if I'll do it next weekend because there won't be a show next week and I won't be in town. So maybe the end of May, I do something to just be like, this is cool. But yeah, it was like that long, like when you're always at like one of those big milestones, I just feel like it's like the last 1,000 takes fucking forever. You just sit there and you just, it's like, okay, now it's back. Okay, now it's back. Like it's just back and forth. But yeah, sweets. But now everyone watching this should go subscribe to Ren because I want him to hit 50,000.
I would like that too. Thank you very much. And congratulations, Zach.
Thank you
again.
Man. I wouldn't be here without you.
Incredible milestone. Well, I'm flattered. All right. Eric Thorpe reviews. What direction do you think Zack Snyder needs to go in next to recover from the Rebel Moon disaster? The only thing I can think of, since he's not great at original stories without existing IPs, would be for him to do a biopic.
No.
Of someone like Frank Miller. I think that could be really cool and be good. It'd be a good change. I don't know.
Zack Snyder can't do that because all of his films have to have nudity, rape, and murder. So
and explosions and spectacle, like, and I'm not saying that as a criticism. I don't love the R word, but everything else, like, I love in movies.
Yeah.
I love violence. I love explosions. I don't know how you watch literally anything that Zack Snyder has ever done and you look, this guy could do a biopic.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I know what he should do. I know 100% what he should do next. Because I'm over the Rebel Moon stuff. I'm like, now I'm just like, because if you look at it, when he writes a story, Rebel Moon, Sucker Punch, they all have the same shit. And it's annoying. Like, really, dude, like you said the R word, and I shouldn't have said it, but like, they should not have done that. And it's just fucked up, dude. Like, it makes no sense to me on why we're doing that. Like, especially nowadays when it doesn't need to be in the story. Like, it adds nothing. With that said, he should do Gears of War. He should do a Gears of War IP film.
Oh, nice shout.
It literally, like, and I know I'm a massive fan of Gears of War. I have a fucking gun back there. I have a gun right here. It's my favorite video game franchise of all time. And I've said for years, Zack Snyder would do an amazing job on a Gears of War film. Stylized, it's literally his cup of tea. Explosion and horror. Dave Bautista wants to play the main character. He would be awesome in that role.
And he's
do the trilogy.
Zack Snyder.
Exactly. Do the trilogy. You have the baseline for that first 3 games, and you could easily make it into a trilogy of movies.
Yeah. And
it would be awesome. And Netflix has the rights to Gears of War. I actually think this will happen. I think it's been heavily developed too much. The film is being written by someone else at this point. Zack Snyder owes Netflix at this point. So, like, maybe it's a one for me, one for you type of situation.
Here's the problem now, though. He is not getting rid of Rebel Moon anytime soon, because if you look at the way the Snyder cuts of parts 1 and 2
Yeah.
are supposedly being released, we're still seeing Zack Snyder discuss and promote Rebel Moon for the next year,
Yeah.
at least. That is, if he's not already working on part 3 without us knowing. Like,
There's
who
no
knows?
way. There's
I
no
think
way
that's
they're
a good
making part
shout
3.
for Gears of War, because he's even mentioned it, that he's a fan and he's interested in all that. Another another thing I could see him doing, instead of making your franchise Rebel Moon, the one you're focusing on, go back to Army of the Dead. What is that
Yeah.
animated sequel?
Yeah.
What is going on with that finale? Where's the proper sequel to what we
Yeah,
saw
they had
in that
so many
first?
questions in there. The robots,
Yeah.
you are right. They should do that. One other thing to kind of shout out,
Mhm.
if he were to go and do another IP, you know what film I think he would do a good job in is Berserk. Is that the one that Keanu
Oh,
Reeves,
for
is that what
sure.
it's called?
Yeah.
I think he'd do a good job on it. I read the comics. They're bloody, they're gory, they're fucked up, and they're writing the script right now. Another turn,
Yeah.
because when Zack Snyder doesn't write his scripts, the films are way better. Every time.
He could also literally do the anime Berserk in live action.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have not played Gears of War, but but if you want to leave Netflix, there's another video game adaptation with the initials GOW that Zack Snyder would be a perfect fit for, and it's
You
my
think for the show? For the show?
100%. Why not?
Ah,
A
I
change
don't know.
with the money Amazon has,
I don't
100%.
know, especially since they're not doing the Greek mythology.
But they
Now,
should.
they should. And if it was the Greek mythology, totally agree with you. But since they are not starting with that, I just I don't know, like that would worry me this because I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so burnt out on him.
Yeah.
And I love Zack Snyder, but maybe I'm just
Same.
so burnt out from Rebel Moon. And then when I went back and rewatched everything, Sucker Punch was the last one I watched too. And it just not an abundance of greatness.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Damien Scott asks, why do people care about Rotten Tomatoes score?
It's a good question that I ask myself every day, because I also don't know the answer. I care about what this man on my left puts on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes as a whole, I don't give a shit. Zach, but why do you think? You can give us an answer from an inside perspective. Why do you think people care about Rotten Tomatoes?
I think they care because they want to see like what the general consensus is for
Mhm.
audience and critic. I think it's always cool to see that, like where like even with the cinema score, which is actually our next question, so I'll leave it for that. But it's always interesting to see those reactions. And it's something that you don't have to scroll through a bunch of Twitter reactions. You can just see a number, and that's it. You're like, that's the general basis of what some people think. And I think people like seeing that, even if they don't understand fully how the Rotten Tomatoes score works. Like at work, like some people don't know that I'm on that, so it's always funny when I have to like. I don't like to say that I am like because it's just like they don't know what I do. Then I have to explain the whole YouTube thing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like a whole fucking extension. But sometimes I just try to explain what it is,
Mhm.
and then they're like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, and then I have to get, or I just, if I'm not in the mood, I'll just be like, oh, well, like it's on their website, basically. Like if you read it, like that's what their website says. They're just one giant conglomerate to where you can just go and see what a basis of critics thinks, and as well as what a basis of the audience thinks.
Mhm.
So why do people care? Because people want to see what other people's opinions are in a lazy and easy, well, lazy is a bad word, but an easy and accessible way to just see a number. That's why when people read a lot of reviews, they probably just scroll to the bottom and look at the number.
Mhm.
I know I used to do that as a kid. I know a lot of people still do. So
Yeah.
when you watch a video, you can't do that. It's hard to scroll through. You got to try and find it.
All right. Lady Aaron, thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? We're seeing a B cinema score when the other three got an A minus score. It's even worse than I thought it'd be in terms of its cinema score. It's who gives a shit about cinema score? it's interesting to see because Cinema Score is general audiences. So it's interesting enough to,
Yeah.
this is what general audiences thought in general. But do they actually carry any weight? Do they matter actually? Nah, not really. So I don't really have thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. It also depends on who they pulled. They only pull like a
Mhm.
hand selection full. So could have been those few theaters they pulled just weren't that into the film. That
Yeah.
that literally could be it. Sometimes it's shocking, sometimes not. Let's wait and see what the box office is and also what the box office is next week. I think that'll be the bigger indication of what audiences are feeling on this. I was a little shocked to see the B because personally, every person I've talked to that's seen the film loved it. That's not critics. They loved it.
Yeah.
So that's saying a lot. And even at my press screening, it was a public screening. Majority of people I talked to also said they loved it. The only thing a lot of them were iffy on was the ending. That was the only thing. So maybe this B is
Okay.
like they
Yeah.
walked out and they were like, I didn't really like the ending of the film.
Fair enough.
So
All right, we got 4 minutes, 2 questions. Go.
all right, Eric Thorpe. So I don't know if you guys have them where you're at, but I'm guessing there's some equivalents. But here I go see most movies in VIP theaters, so no kids and stuff, and it's generally nicer. Even though I don't drink lately, it's so strange that they just aren't playing some big movies in the VIP theaters like The Fall Guy. And it makes no sense, even though it's underperformed. It still made me way more money than anything else this weekend. Why do you think this is up with Cineplexes? Sorry, I guess you have no idea, but I need to vent. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, like I understand that they're not playing big movies on those VIP theaters, but other than that, I don't have an opinion because
Yeah.
there's nothing for me to comment on that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eric. Go to the final question, you, because it's
Lady Aaron, I recently saw some of your videos on Twitter in which Ren is holding Zach up high during something for Zach's wedding, which was great to watch. Will we get some more videos like that in the future? He boys looked incredible. Maybe in a couple months I'll post it for my memberships.
Woo.
So if you support me on memberships, you'll be able to watch it. But in terms of things sharing, no. If you notice, the only 2 videos I shared publicly were YouTube
the YouTube
friends.
people.
And it's because I really like that he caught those moments, but also like, it's my buds, it's my friends. So and that moment of Ren, like I've had photos of that forever. So I'm really happy they caught the video. So when I was sorting through the raw footage and I found it, I put it in my version that I made out of all the raw footage. So and I still need to tinker with that. So just so you know, Ren, when I do send you, when you watch the longer version, just so you know, there's a lot I need to fix in there still because it's still raw. I just did the timeline and music fix. So, but yeah, maybe
I'm happy to watch any version of it.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. You'll see. It's really cool, but
right.
nothing more thoughts on that.
I cannot wait to watch it. All right, everyone. And that does it for episode 89 of This Week in Geek. Just a heads up, next week, Zach is unavailable. I am in Portugal, and I'll be flying back on that Saturday to London. So there isn't a show next week. We will be having our 90th episode 2 weeks from now. I don't remember what day of the month exactly that is, but the 20th something of May. The final episode of May.
25th, I would say.
25th. There you go. There's something. Yeah, exactly. When Cody Rhodes goes one-on-one with Logan Paul for the title, that's when the show goes back. And by the way, I might start streaming myself watching these live events, WWE, when they play at an accessible time here.
No, you just gotta stay up, man. Fuck sleep.
I will
stay
stay
up.
up.
You're getting old.
I will stay up to watch them. I will not stay up to live stream it because I live in an apartment building and
that's okay. Scream.
No.
Scream.
Not at 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 4, whatever. But Saudi Arabia will be playing in the afternoon, so after the show, I might make a live stream. Just you guys ask questions, and I'm watching some wrestling. So thank you so much once again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time, and until then, love each other.